You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Longtime friend.
Media Takeout from Media Takeout. Fred!
Hey, guys. How's it going?
I wasn't going to say your last name.
Fred Mwangai.
I still can't pronounce it.
I pronounced it right?
No.
No. Okay, my bad.
It just says Fred M here, so
Yeah,
I'm
Fred
not going to
M.
attempt.
I wasn't going to try to pronounce it anyway. But welcome back, Fred.
Good to be here.
What the hell's been going on with Media Takeout, bro?
Well, we've been kind of growing. It's 12 years in now. And it's
Yikes.
kind of, I know, it's crazy, right? So it's like we just always have to kind of adapt to what's going on out there.
Mm-hmm.
So we were, we started off, we were kind of a small blog doing entertainment gossip.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that the world has changed a little bit and I've grown up a little bit, as you can see, I'm wearing a suit
Yeah,
now.
I see the suit.
We decided to kind of move a little bit more towards entertainment news and just general news that is of interest to Black people.
Mm-hmm.
So while we still Media Takeout, we're now MTO News as well.
Mhm.
And we do, in addition to celebrity news and celebrity gossip, we do viral news that I think a lot of Black people are interested in.
Do you think so many people started doing celebrity news and gossip that y'all kind of got drowned out a little bit?
I think that's part of it.
Because y'all was first.
Yeah, I mean, we've been in it for a while, and we've been kind of winning for a while. And I think offline, I think that was the case. But once I think social media came in, it just became so anything that something came out, if something
Immediately.
breaks, it's already out there. Anyone could be a blogger. It could go viral before you can get to it. And then I think the idea of just kind of being celebrity news and celebrity gossip just became really commoditized.
Yeah.
And so it was harder to differentiate yourself between yourself and all the other people. And so we decided to kind of branch off into this.
Yeah, how come you
That's
didn't
a
do
good
social
point, though.
media? I was going to ask, how come you didn't do social media as well? Like even with TMZ, who has a huge page, like they go into the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook world. I just didn't feel the same from Media Takeout.
We didn't. You're right about that. I mean, we were always kind of trying to decide whether or not we were going to go into social media. We got into Facebook, I think, a little bit later than everyone else. But once we got in right, and we grew up. I think we have about 5 million likes. And we never went into Instagram. And I think a lot of people were like, why aren't you guys going into Instagram?
Absolutely.
Instagram is kind of the place, is where we all are. But Instagram, because of the nature of the platform, you don't really control it. So you're essentially putting all of your content onto the platform. You don't control it. And then because of the nature of kind of the way it works, it kind of sucks you in, right? So it's difficult to have an offline presence and an Instagram presence.
So in other words, I'd just be on your Instagram page and I'm not going to go to the website.
Right. Why would you ever go to a website?
Like TMZ does. They put a little bit of the story and they say click link to go.
I hate when people do that.
But you have to do it.
I think I get what all of them are saying. I think what kind of hurt me to take out was y'all only did daily updates instead of like hourly, or when something breaks, y'all posted it.
Well, I mean, it didn't hurt us. I mean, we're as big in terms of users that we've ever been. So
Really?
we're continuing to grow.
Okay.
I think what we've always done is, and this is kind of it, right? Is to kind of make that pivot before it becomes too late, right? So when we went into social media, we weren't the first to go into social media. A lot of our competitors did, like Bossip and the others, but they went in at the wrong time, and it ended up hurting their business model. So when we went in with kind of a plan on how we were going to do it, how we were going to grow it, how we were going to actually be able to monetize it successfully. That's how we were able to survive. And so I think this pivot that we're taking right now is kind of understanding where the market is, understanding where the market's going to be in 2, 3, 4 years, and kind of making that pivot now before we get to there.
Which is the pivot? What is the pivot now?
It's to now
News.
produce not just celebrity news or gossip, but just general news. So, for example, we did a big piece about the woman in Memphis that was assaulted by
In the Waffle House.
in the Waffle House.
When her breast came out.
Yeah, yeah. And we were able to kind of get that out there before the local media did. We were able to get the video out there before a lot of the other people got a chance to take a look at it. And I think that's the kind of news that you can do. It's the kind of viral news that's out there. It's the kind of viral news that you couldn't really tell that story fully on a platform like Instagram. So this is where we can kind of get a hold of that story before. And we were able to, because we were kind of first movers on it, we were able to get a lot of the traction on the story before even the local Memphis news got on it.
How do y'all fact check y'all stuff though? Because like a lot of times you go to MTO and you see stories there that you don't see nowhere else, and you're like, is this real?
It's interesting. I get that question a lot, and I think a lot of times people just don't, to the reader out there or the person that's watching this, they don't know what's real and what's not, right? So a perfect example, there's a story going around right now. Kanye West got in a big fight with Kris Jenner People Magazine is talking about it. It's going all over the web.
Kris Jenner said not true.
It is absolutely 100% not true. I know we spoke to people inside. That story is completely bogus, but it is everywhere on the internet and everybody.
Yeah, you're right. So people can't get mad at y'all when they're,
But the fact is, then we have stories out there that we know are 100% true, right? Like, so for example, there was the leaked text messages between Cardi B and Offset. People are like, is that true or is it not true? I can tell you 100% those text messages are in fact real. They're really text messages between Cardi and Offset. And the people out there that are going to look at it and say, no, those text messages aren't real. So
How do you get that?
we didn't get it. Someone else
Okay.
got it, but we were able to authenticate it. to make
Famous,
sure they
right?
were real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill back together? Nicki leaves
she
hearts
left
on
hearts.
Instagram.
Yeah, she this morning she left hearts.
No,
on
that's an
his- in
easy
his
thing
comments.
to verify.
Yeah, that's
because
easy
you
to
can
see.
see.
But
if
that don't
she
mean they're
left
back
hearts.
together.
Yeah, it doesn't mean they're back together.
Well, I mean, I will
that's a
say-
clickbait
No, well, but I
because
will
we don't know
say-
that means they're back together.
Now, generally speaking, we wouldn't have even reported on it, but we know people that are around Meek, and they were saying that him and Nicki have been communicating while he was in
that
jail.
does not mean they're back together.
And there was talk that maybe they'd be getting back together. I mean, first of all, you can't really get back together with a dude that's in jail anyway, right?
Sure
He's
you
going to say
can.
whatever he's going to
That's
say.
the best time. You know he's not cheating.
He's
But I mean, he's
stupid.
going to get back. Every dude in jail will get with you before he's let out. You know what I
Right.
mean? So we don't know if they're together now, but Meek was trying to do it allegedly before he got let out.
Is it true you're launching a kids app?
Yeah, so that was the other side of it, right?
Kids
Which is-
gossip?
I know.
No, I was messing with you.
So that's the other side of it. I mean, when you're out there and you're kind of doing it. So I've been, doing Media Takeout for 12 years. I've grown up a little bit doing this. And so a lot of times you start wondering, what can I do next, right? Like people, whenever you're talking to people are like, wow, you've been so successful doing this. Is there anything else that you're thinking about doing? And so I was kind of talking around with a bunch of people, a bunch of fathers. I'm a father of 3 kids. And I was always wondering, there are all these apps that are coming out, and they're always targeted towards kind of adults, almost all millennials, right? So you find an app that's targeted, 20-year-old, 22-year-old, 24-year-old, and you don't find apps that kind of are targeted specifically for kids, right? And I know my kids, they like to watch videos, and usually they watch videos on places like YouTube and Netflix. And on Netflix, things are safe, but on YouTube, things can get a little dicey.
Absolutely.
Though you see some of the recent reports. So when I was talking with a couple of fathers that are also involved in tech, and they were like, wow, wouldn't it be great if we all kind of came together and created a platform that was safe for kids to watch interesting videos? And so we all sat down, we kind of hashed it out, and we're in the early stages of launching the new company. It's called Tube Junior.
Oh, so it's not a rumor. I thought you were about to report on Blue Ivy and
No.
Kanye and Kim's kids.
Nothing to do
Like-
with that.
So wait, what's it called again?
It's called Tube Junior.
Okay. Got you. So the videos that's going to be on there are like,
Yeah, it will be the kind of YouTube videos, the kind of videos that you would like to see on YouTube. But I guess the difference between YouTube is it's all run algorithmically, right? So anyone could load up a video, and then if the algorithm says this is good, they'll allow your kids to see it. And that's nice, and it usually catches 99% of the bad videos, but it doesn't catch 100% of the videos. And I know as a father, and I
like
think
that.
a lot of parents, 99% is not good enough.
Right.
My kids, it's not good enough for most parents' kids. And so what we're going to do is we're still going to have the algorithm that kind of decides, but we're going to have a human being, a person that cares and loves kids, and they're going to actually have to approve every single video that's on there. Before
nobody
it goes
uses human beings
Oh,
for
that's
this
great.
type of work anymore.
That's
Well,
great. That's what we need.
sometimes you have to. I mean, you can never get to 100% without people.
How many
still-
how many times have you been sued, and who did the most of the suing?
We've gotten sued a couple of times. Not as much as you think, because like I said, we really take
You're a
the
lawyer,
time.
you know.
But we also take the time to actually do the research and do it right.
So will you pull a story if somebody's like, that's not true?
Yeah, people do it all the time. I mean, listen, you can't if you're reporting original news like we are all the time, you can't be 100% on it.
Right.
And so sometimes you make mistakes, and
And
if you make
sometimes people
mistakes,
plant stories and they're like, I'm going to put this out there to try to mess this person up or.
right? Or sometimes it looks, everything looks like it's real, right? And then you find out for one reason or another that it's not. And at that point, we have no problem pulling the story, writing an apology.
Who sued you? Who sued you? Who's some of the people that sued you?
See, it's hard to say, right? Like anytime you kind of settle a lot of those things,
You can't really talk
you
about
can't
it.
really talk about it
Right.
anymore. But like I said, there have been some times, and I think you guys know about them. And like I said, in every case, we're there before we publish anything. We're generally comfortable with saying what we do. And if there is any problem, like I said, from our standpoint, it's not a good look for us to publish something and then it to be proven false. Right.
So you don't want to.
So
do that.
we would rather just kind of go and know that, okay, this isn't true. Let's.
What about things that could destroy somebody's relationship, business? Like, okay, maybe I shouldn't post these text messages because this could be bad for business and this person may never be able to work with this person again.
Well, I will say that there's two kind of areas that we just generally don't touch.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is like any hip hop beefs, because whenever you're talking about hip hop beefs, this is real consequences. You got, people that could bust guns over what it is that you're reporting. So we don't report generally about any hip hop beefs. And then the second thing we do is we generally don't run reports that's gonna really hit somebody's pockets. So a lot of times you'll see like people call you up and be like, oh, so and so didn't show up to an appearance, right? And when you report that kind of thing, then it becomes harder for them to get booked in the future. So those kind of stories that are just gratuitous, hitting somebody in their pockets for no good reason, those are the stories that we stay away from.
Do you still love it? Like, do you really care about the news you're reporting?
I do. I mean, it's one of those things, like every time I'm spending a lot of time working on Tube Junior and some other stuff, but I've never had a job that I love more than this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you get up in the morning, you get to meet a lot of great people, and you get to watch videos all day and understand the culture and be a part of kind of help inform it. There's never been a job that I love more than this job right now.
That's great.
Is it still profitable?
It is. It's always, from early on, I think we made a bunch of really smart business decisions to keep our staff small.
How many is in your staff?
So right now we're at 9.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
To try and outsource most of the things that we did. And then I think I had the foresight to realize that I think a lot of advertising would be sold through exchange bidding. And so we built our business model around that pretty early. And I think a lot of our competitors didn't believe that. They were still direct selling ads. And as the market changed, a lot of them got in a lot of trouble. And a lot of them aren't here anymore. So, there was a lot of things that we did early on that kind of helped us around. And, when you've been doing this for 12 years too, you really get to understand what it's like to run a business, how to run a business, the kind of things that you want to do when you're running a business. And I just had a great time doing it.
You know what else I noticed? Whenever there's like a sex tape or anything like that, I had to click on a link that takes me off of the website, because obviously you can't post those things directly on MediaTakeOut.
That's right. I mean, obviously, and this is a lot of times we run into issues with this too, right? So there's like a lot of times, copyright reasons, someone will publish a link and we don't own it. We can't find the person to own it. We can't find the way to license it. So we'll just have to link out of our website to it. And people will be like, well, MediaTakeOut, why are you doing that? And the answer is, we can't take this video and cut it up and edit it and put our MTO News, whatever on it, because we don't own it. And so we have to link out to it. And so in stuff like sex tapes, usually we don't link to sex tapes. But in stuff like the video content that we don't own, we'll link out to it.
How have you managed to avoid all kinds of scandals? I'm sure somebody would love to get a scandalous story on.
I don't
MediaTakeOut.
I live my life. I'm a father. I spent all my time thinking about business and reading, and also I'm a nerd, right? Like I'm not out here in these streets. I'm not, I'm not at the clubs. I'm not doing any of this other stuff. So there's not really much to see and much to kind of scandal to it.
That'd be a crazy scandal. Would you put it on MediaTakeOut as a headline?
I would. I mean, if it was gonna get clicks, I'll put it up there.
It's still profitable though?
It is. Yeah. I mean, it was, like I said, in the beginning, we ran it so that MediaTakeOut could have lost. I mean, when we set it up, we could have lost 90% of our revenue and it would still been profitable, right? Because I realized that there was variability in this market. And I think a lot of people, there was almost an artificial advertising budget that was going around where people were able to go and talk to these big companies and get these gigantic sales. And it wasn't necessarily tied to page views. My view was always then, and it is now, that you're always about giving the best user experience and continuing to grow your users. And if you can do those two things and keep your costs under control, you're always going to have a profitable business. And so those are kind of the tenets that MediaTakeOut is built on. And that's why it's profitable now. It was profitable before. And so long as we're here, I expect it to be profitable too.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you for
my guy Fred
hanging out
M.
with us, Fred.
MTO News.
Good to be here. Thank you, guys.
All right, it's the Breakfast Club. It's Fred M. MediaTakeOut.
Fred M.